He wasn't there when the kids ran down the stairs. The cameras were already rolling. Libby looked calm, but something in her eyes kept flicking toward the door. Then a knock. A courier. No gift wrap. No smile. Just a sealed envelope and a printed name, Elizabeth Potthast. No return address. No holiday card. Just cold timing. The producers didn't cut. They zoomed in. Libby's hands shook. Not from the cold, from the instinct you get when something's about to break and you don't know how deep the crack will run. She looked at the kids, then at the camera. She said it out loud, "I didn't order anything." Nobody answered. The room was frozen. A silent crowd of crew, producers, and 2 toddlers who just wanted their mom to smile. But her smile never came. She opened the envelope. 1 page. Legal format. Court seal. A file number. Then it hit her. Marriage records. Nevada. Date. 4 years before she met Andrei. Her mouth moved, but no sound came out. The camera picked up the crinkle of the paper in her hands. Her whole body stiffened like she was trying to keep herself from falling apart on camera. The paper didn't just say he was married. It named the woman. Full legal name. U.S. citizen. Filed for annulment 9 months after the wedding. The address on file was a Las Vegas apartment. Libby said nothing. Her father Chuck came over, thinking maybe it was some prank or mix-up. One look at her face, and he stopped in his tracks. The producers tried to whisper off camera, but it was too late. There's no way to rewrap a holiday once the truth's been unwrapped. Chuck asked her again, "What is it?" And Libby finally read it out loud. Andrei Castravet was married to. And then she stopped. She looked at the camera and said, "Turn it off." But they didn't. She dropped the letter and walked off screen. The kids kept unwrapping gifts. Andrei was nowhere. Libby's mic stayed hot. She didn't cry. Not yet. She just kept saying the same phrase. "Why now?" Over and over. Then the sound of a door slamming. Not from the kids. Not from Chuck. From Libby. She wasn't ready to explain. But the mess had already started. The paper wasn't long, just 1 printed court record. But it was enough to ruin Christmas. Enough to turn Libby's face from frozen shock to something sharper. She held it tighter now, like gripping it harder might change what it said. Clark County, Nevada. Marriage license issued to Andrei Castravet and one Megan L. Thompson. Filed April 2014. Dissolution requested January 2015. Reason listed: fraud and misrepresentation. Libby read it 3 times. Then she flipped the paper over, as if more answers were hiding on the back. There weren't. April 2014. That was almost 2 full years before Andrei showed up on 90 Day Fiancé with a different story. About meeting Libby through Facebook, falling in love, leaving Moldova for her. He never once mentioned a prior marriage, especially not a Vegas wedding filed under an American address. Chuck tried to make sense of it, pacing behind the camera, talking to producers who had no idea what to say. One of them asked, "Could it be a different Andrei?" Libby snapped, "You think I don't know my own husband's full name?" That shut everyone up. This wasn't just a marriage. It rewrote their entire timeline. If Andrei married someone else in 2014 for immigration purposes, then what did that make his story with Libby? TLC's editors had built an entire arc around his struggle to get approved, his green card drama, the tension with Libby's family. If this court document was real, and it sure looked real, then the version fans believed was missing a chapter. Maybe 2. Libby pulled out her phone, searched the name, found nothing clear. No socials. Just a few old address records and a blurry LinkedIn profile that hadn't been updated in years. But the fear was already in her voice. I married a man who lied about the biggest decision of his life. Chuck didn't respond. He looked stunned, betrayed. On behalf of his daughter, and maybe himself too. Producers whispered in corners. Someone from legal was already being looped in. They hadn't signed up to air immigration fraud on a holiday special. But now they had it. Liv. Libby stood up. I want answers now. From him. And from you. She pointed straight at the camera. Andrei's phone kept going to voicemail. His car was still gone. And Libby wasn't done reading. Chuck showed up faster than usual. He didn't even knock. Just pushed the front door open and stormed inside like he already knew it wasn't going to be good. The first thing he saw was Libby standing in the middle of the room, holding that same letter like it was burning her hands. The kids were still in the background, laughing, tearing through wrapping paper, asking where Daddy was. She didn't say anything at first. Just handed him the letter. Chuck read it once, and his face dropped. No denial, no softening. He didn't even sit down. Are you kidding me? He said, voice rising. Is this real? This is real? Libby nodded. I called him. His phone's off. Her voice cracked. I've called 10 times. He's not answering me. He's not even reading the texts. Chuck grabbed his own phone and tried too. Straight to voicemail. No rings, no location shared, nothing, like he had wiped himself out of existence. Libby looked scared now. Not angry. Not yet. I don't know where he is. He left early this morning. Said he was getting gas. That's it. Chuck exploded. Why the hell would he leave you alone with this on Christmas morning? And what is this marriage? This woman? Did you know about this? Did anybody on production know? The room froze. Producers didn't speak. A sound guy turned his mic boom away. Even the kids seemed quieter now. When someone disappears during damage control, it's rarely random. Libby started crying. And it wasn't performative. This wasn't a camera-ready meltdown. This was the kind of cry where your chest shakes and your sentences don't come out right. She kept repeating the same thing. He told me everything. I thought I knew everything. Why would he lie about this? Chuck paced the living room, back and forth, waving the letter. You've been on TV for 6 years. You let them film your wedding, your pregnancies, your fights. And he never thought this would come out? He stopped and looked directly at the camera. You're still filming this? No one said yes. No one said no. But no one turned it off either. Andrei's absence was now the story. The man had vanished and left his family holding the wreckage. Libby wiped her face and looked straight ahead. If he doesn't come back today, I'm done. Day 1 felt like a blur. Day 2 turned cold. By the 3rd, even the silence felt deliberate. Andrei hadn't come home. Not a single call. No post. No reply. His phone was still dead. His location still off. The SUV he'd left in hadn't moved according to Chuck, who'd driven past every day. The man simply vanished. And it wasn't just from Libby. He'd ghosted production. Disappeared from every group chat. Ignored every call from TLC Legal. Behind the scenes, things got tense. TLC had footage they didn't know what to do with. A sealed legal envelope. A bombshell marriage record. A child's Christmas ruined on camera. But no Andrei to respond, deny, explain, or even perform damage control. So they did nothing. They waited. Libby didn't. She sat back down in front of the same camera setup they used for her last confessional. No makeup this time. Hair tied up. No ring. Her voice was flatter than usual. No edge. No sarcasm. Just a woman who looked like she hadn't slept. I didn't think I'd be filming this part alone, she said. But here we are. A pause. Her eyes flicked down. He hasn't come back. No word. The kids keep asking. I told them he's with family. That was a lie. She held up the letter again. This changed everything. Not because he had a past, but because he didn't tell me. Because I had to find out like this, with cameras in my face, while my daughter was opening a coloring book. On Christmas, the ugliest part of Betrayal is how quiet it gets after. TLC hadn't aired anything yet. The public still thought it was a normal holiday. Happy family, smiling kids, the usual staged warmth. But behind the scenes, the show was on ice. Legal review. PR meetings. Andrei's immigration paperwork, now under quiet scrutiny. If the Vegas marriage was for green card purposes and never disclosed, this wasn't just a family issue anymore. Libby's voice didn't rise. It just thinned out. I've defended him. So many times. To my dad. To my sisters. To fans who called him controlling, selfish, manipulative. Another pause. What if they were right, and I was the fool? She blinked. Not dramatically. Slowly, then reached to turn off her own mic. Her hands were shaking again. Not from rage. From exhaustion. From realizing she'd been filming love, and something else had been happening off camera all along. It started with one blurry screenshot on Reddit. Someone posted a grainy still from a now-deleted Facebook profile, claiming it showed Andrei and a blonde woman at a Vegas chapel in 2014. No wedding clothes, just streetwear and forced smiles. The post blew up in hours. Fans matched the carpet pattern in the photo to a well-known quick marriage venue. It was messy, but it wasn't fake. By noon, another user dropped timestamps from 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, showing discrepancies in Andrei's immigration timeline. In one clip, he said he entered the U.S. in 2016, but flight data pulled from a Moldovan travel forum placed him landing in New York in late 2013. Suddenly, the Vegas marriage record didn't feel so isolated. It felt like the missing piece of a puzzle no one was supposed to solve. Then came the DMs. A woman in Nevada posted a TikTok claiming she used to work with Andrei back in 2014 at a security company in Henderson. She didn't confirm she was the ex-wife, but she hinted. He wasn't who he said he was, she said. Trust me, Libby deserves better. Within hours, #AndreiExposed was trending. When truth leaks from strangers, the silence from family sounds like guilt. TLC scrambled. They hadn't aired a single clip from Christmas week. They were holding all of it. Libby's reaction, Chuck's confrontation, Andrei's disappearance, until legal gave the green light. But now they were losing control of the story. A quiet statement went up on their press site. We are aware of online rumors regarding the personal history of cast member Andrei Castravet. We are in the process of verifying claims and determining the appropriate next steps regarding unaired content. But fans weren't waiting. They were digging deeper. Someone found what looked like a public housing record for the Vegas address listed on the marriage certificate. Another found screenshots of Libby denying any knowledge of a prior marriage in an Instagram Q&A from 2 years ago. People began tagging her nonstop, asking if she was okay, demanding to know if it was true. Libby didn't respond. But that didn't stop the chaos. Every silence was read as confirmation. Every delay made the theory feel real. Andrei, the alpha, the protector, the one who always claimed to be above the drama, had now become the drama. And the fans weren't done yet. They'd only just started pulling the thread. Libby showed up to the interview with no glam team, no stylist, no handler. She told production she'd do one more sit-down, but only if she could speak without prompts. No outline, no soft questions, no do-overs, just the truth. Or at least, what she knew of it. The room was quieter this time. Smaller crew. No kids. No Chuck, just Libby in a plain sweater. No ring. Sitting straight, but not defensive. She didn't look broken. She looked steady, like someone who already fell apart and now had nothing left to lose. They asked if she'd heard from Andrei. She said, he texted yesterday. One sentence. Give me time. No apology. No explanation. No mention of the kids. The producer paused. Asked if she believed the Vegas marriage was real. Libby didn't blink. The documents are real. The woman exists. It's not a rumor anymore. The only thing I don't know is why he hid it, and for how long he planned to. When trust dies, it doesn't scream. It fades, then turns cold. Behind the camera, things were spinning. TLC's legal department was already combing through years of footage, trying to figure out if they'd ever aired a false claim. If Andrei's prior marriage had been concealed during production or paperwork, they were sitting on a compliance issue, especially if immigration law was involved. Internally, compliance flagged several scenes from earlier seasons where Andrei claimed to be coming to America for the first time. It was damage control now, and fast. Libby didn't hold back. I've let cameras into my house, my labor room, my worst fights. And now, I find out the man I married left out the one thing that could have changed everything from day one? She took a breath. You can't fix that with an apology. You can't edit around it. She wasn't yelling. She didn't need to. The weight was in her stillness. The way she stared at the camera without flinching. The way she paused before every answer, as if deciding whether to keep protecting him or let it burn. The interview ended with one final question. What happens now? Libby gave the smallest shrug. I don't know, but I know I'm not doing cleanup for someone who won't even come home. Then she stood up. No hug. No thank you. She walked out like someone who understood what betrayal looks like on camera. And off. The silence didn't last long. Once TMZ picked up the Vegas marriage story, everything exploded. They didn't post the court document, but they didn't need to. They ran the headline, 90-day Fiancé star Andrei accused of hiding prior U.S. marriage. Was it for a green card? That was enough to light the fuse. Screen rant followed. So did reality T. Suddenly, fans who'd defended Andrei for years were now combing through old episodes, finding quotes, rewinding timelines. One user clipped a scene from season 5 where Andrei confidently told Chuck, I don't need anything from America. I came here for Libby. That clip went viral, with new captions calling it a lie. The comment sections turned brutal. So, was Libby the second draft of his visa story? Did TLC know and cover it up? Where's the ex-wife now? Meanwhile, Libby broke her silence with one post. A black screen. No photo. No explanation. Just one sentence written in white. There is no family without honesty. It wasn't dramatic. It didn't tag anyone. But it said everything. Thousands of comments flooded in within an hour. Support. Sympathy. Anger. Some trolls, but mostly people who felt like they'd watched her get blindsided by the very person she kept defending. Chuck, on the other hand, stayed quiet, but made one move that said more than any statement. He refused to film. When even the loudest voices go silent, you know something snapped behind the scenes. TLC tried to salvage the situation. They asked Chuck to appear in a follow-up, just to give context, but he shut it down. Said he was done being a background prop in someone else's mess. Insiders say he told producers off camera, you wanted real? You got real. Now deal with it. Pressure built from every side. Sponsors wanted clarity. Editors wanted direction. Andrei's visa story had been part of his entire arc. If it was based on lies, intentional or not, it could pull the thread on everything filmed since day one. Internally, executives were split. Do they confront it on air or bury it and move on? But viewers weren't letting it go. Reddit threads tripled. TikTok clips trended under #GreenCardFianc. Even former cast members started posting reaction videos, hinting at their own suspicions. Everyone wanted to know, if Andrei lied about this, what else was fake? And still, he said nothing. No post, no denial, no return, which to fans sounded a lot like guilt. 3 weeks after Christmas, Andrei reappeared, but not for the cameras. No post, no explanation, no reunion footage. Just a quiet message sent to Libby's phone, I'm outside. Alone. She didn't call production. She didn't even tell Chuck. She stepped outside in sweats, no mic, no glam, no handlers. TLC found out only after she told them the next day. They were furious. This was the moment. The confrontation, the resolution, the ratings. And she shut it out. I didn't want anyone else in the room, she told producers the next morning. I didn't want the camera getting his version before I got mine. She didn't say much about what was said, only that it changed something for her. Not in the way TLC wanted. No closure, no tears, no scripted kiss. Something colder. She told them. He told me why he did it. But not why he didn't tell me. That's what broke me. Sometimes the most painful truth isn't what you find out, it's what they never bothered to say. She wouldn't give details, not even in private interviews. But her tone had changed. Gone was the crying. Gone was the shaky voice. She was steady now, distant, like someone finally believing what others had warned her about for years. TLC pushed her. They wanted a reshoot. A dramatized recap, at least a phone call scene. Libby said no. You don't get to film the part where I break. That refusal made everything worse. Fans already suspicious now filled in the blanks themselves. What did he say? Did he admit to green card fraud? Was the Vegas marriage fake? Or worse, real and still active? Did he threaten her? Did she forgive him? No one knew. And because it happened off camera, the conspiracy took on a life of its own. Internet detectives went wild. TikToks with fake voiceovers claiming to know what happened. Reddit threads debating immigration law. YouTubers uploading reaction videos every hour with phrases like sources say and insider leaks, none of which had receipts. Libby said nothing else. She posted a single quote a week later. Not all silence is weakness. Some of it is survival. And the mystery deepened. This wasn't the kind of storyline TLC could control anymore. The most crucial moment had slipped through their hands. And the audience felt it. Not everything can be turned into content. Some things hit too close. And Libby made sure this part stayed hers. Libby waited longer than TLC wanted. Past the headlines. Past the theories. Past the noise. When she finally sat down to film the Christmas confessional, the room felt heavier than any fight she and Andrei ever had on camera. She started strong. Upright posture. Steady breath. She said Christmas morning started normal. Kids excited. Pajamas. Wrapping paper everywhere. Then, her voice caught. Just for a second. Enough to change the tone. She talked about her daughter holding a toy and looking up, asking where Daddy was. Not once. Over and over. Every few minutes. Each time softer. Each time more confused. Libby said she lied. She told her Daddy stepped out. She told her Daddy would be back. She said those lies hurt more than the letter ever did. She paused. Looked down. Swallowed. Her voice cracked for real this time. Some betrayals hurt less than the moments your kids witness without context. She said she never thought betrayal would arrive on a holiday. Never thought something so ugly would show up wrapped in legal paper while her children waited for breakfast. She said Christmas is supposed to feel safe, predictable, warm. Instead, it felt like standing in a house where the heat shut off and no one warned you. Libby didn't scream. She didn't attack Andrei. She didn't speculate about motives. She talked about trust. About how trust is built in boring moments, not big speeches. About how it disappears when someone leaves you alone with questions and kids asking for answers you do not have. She admitted she felt embarrassed. Not because of the rumors, because she defended him for years. Because she told people they were wrong about him. Because she believed love meant patience. The public reaction shifted fast. Sympathy replaced suspicion. Comment sections changed tone. People stopped asking what Andrei did and started asking how Libby was holding up. Other parents shared similar stories. Missed holidays. Empty chairs. Lies told to protect children. Libby ended the confessional quietly. She said Christmas showed her something she could not unsee. Not the letter. Not the internet. The absence, the choice to disappear. She looked straight at the camera and said she would never forget how quiet the house felt once the kids went to bed. And for the first time, viewers realized this story was no longer about documents or timelines. It was about a line crossed that could not be walked back. Libby didn't file anything. Not yet. Weeks passed. No updates, no press tour, no finale promo from TLC, just silence. The network released a short statement. No episodes were being pulled, but they were reviewing timeline inconsistencies in Andrei's background. Translation, they were scrambling behind the scenes, hoping the internet storm would pass before legal got involved. Chuck went quiet too. He'd always been willing to talk. Even when he was angry, embarrassed, or overwhelmed, Chuck never turned down a camera. But this time, every call from producers went to voicemail. Every text got left on read. He was done. Not out of spite, out of exhaustion, out of loyalty to Libby. She made one decision publicly. She was stepping away from filming. No tell-all, no spin-off, no live streams. She posted a simple message on her story. I'm not okay. And I'm not pretending to be. Not every breakup starts with a fight. Some start with a silence you finally decide not to fill. Still no divorce paperwork. No formal announcement. No we've decided to part ways post. Libby didn't need to say it. The absence spoke for itself. Andrei wasn't showing up. Not for her. Not for the kids. Not for TLC. His last known move was that private meeting no one saw. Whatever happened in that conversation clearly didn't fix anything. Fans split. Some still hoped for reconciliation. Others were convinced this had been a fraud from the beginning. Threads debated whether their love story was ever real or just convenient timing wrapped in TLC packaging. Libby didn't answer any of it. She stayed offline except for a single New Year's post. A photo of her 2 kids in matching pajamas, smiling, holding hands. No adults in the frame. Caption, starting fresh. No more pretending. It didn't scream heartbreak. It whispered freedom. TLC hasn't confirmed if Andrei will appear in future episodes. As of now, his contract is under review. But with Chuck gone, Libby silent, and fans still piecing together a puzzle they were never meant to solve, the question still hangs in the air. Was this ever a marriage built on love? Or just paperwork? Filmed and edited until even the people inside it couldn't tell the difference? And for the first time in years, Libby isn't rushing to defend the answer. She's letting the silence speak.